Jason is now joining us. Jason joins us now from North Adelaide in South Australia. Jace, what have you got for Peter Dutton, the Alternative Prime Minister?
Opportunity, especially in military supply chains, and currently with US decoupling from China for these resources. Australia has them, but red and green tape stop us from opening these mines all too often. So my question is, what are the hurdles currently in place from stopping Australia to take this opportunity? What are the risks involved with an Albanese-backed government continuing? And what could the coalition government do to advance this opportunity?
Jason, thanks for the question. I think it's an absolutely vital one. There's a huge opportunity for Australia to increase the exports. We know a company like Rio Tinto pays $10 billion a year in royalties and company taxes. We don't fund hospitals and we don't fund policing, we don't fund education, etc., infrastructure without that revenue. So there's an enormous opportunity for us to expand it. But when you speak to companies now, they're moving capital out of Australia into Africa and into North America, into Asia, and they just see Australia as a sovereign risk under this government. The time that it takes, for example, a North West Shelf extension, which Tanya Plibersek delayed the announcement of that decision until after the election, till the 31st of May, which will tell West Australians that they're not going to proceed with that project. The fact is that had been with the Cook state government for 6 years, a project that was well known, and all of the environmental considerations had taken place. 6 years it had been with the Cook government for a decision. They said yes, gave it a tick of approval, and then that triggers a referral to the federal government, and then their processes start. Why, if you're a company looking at investing in a project where you've got 6 or 8 or 12 years delay, why would you be holding capital at risk when you could move into another country where you've got the ability to get a return on your capital straight away? So first point I'd make is that we need to condense timelines, and we've advised the WA government and the people of Western Australia, but more broadly, as a national policy, we're going to halve the approval times for those projects. We're going to defund the Environmental Defenders Office, which has been disgraced in matters that they've joined in the federal court. The Labor Party funded the Environmental Defenders Office. They can go and take an action against a project even if approvals have been granted. And this is the Labor Party's way of saying that we've got everything under control to try and stop mining projects, nudge, nudge, wink, wink to Green voters in inner city Sydney and Melbourne. But they're killing the economy. And to your point about the defence supply chains and the assurances that our partners need, the Americans are bending over backwards to do more with Australia, and we should be doing more in the guided weapons space, in the autonomous vehicle space, and we have an abundance of these natural resources, and I think there are many ways in which we can add value to the relationship. When we struck the deal with the United States on AUKUS, it was always my belief that we could add more to the overall output, the industrial capability and output in AUKUS, which would make us a more valuable partner and not just a sort of mendicant party, and we were just taking from the arrangement between the US and the UK and our country. We've got an enormous IP within intellectual property and capability within particularly the communication space in this country, and that is really valued by the Americans and others, and that all requires critical minerals and investment into different components. At the moment, we've got defence industry companies closing down in this country because the government's ripped $80 billion out of defence, and our proposal, as you know, is to put $21 billion more into defence over the next 5 years. If we do that, I think we've got a much better chance of keeping our country safe, but also being a really good partner and ally to the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada and other countries.
Good stuff.